Alright, welcome back everyone to the Law of Precision, the second installment to the WristClock series. If you haven't heard the first book, it'll be linked in the description below. This video is going to be chapters 9 and chapters 10. Or chapter 9 and chapter 10, sorry. I hope you all enjoy. Alright, let's get into it. Chapter 9, Tooth of the Gear. The impostor drank from a convenience store coffee cup, hands shaking. 2 sugars, no cream, routine. Michael knew the type. Arrogant, sloppy, desperate to be seen. The impostor had killed again last night. The news hadn't caught up yet, but Michael had followed the trail, a dumpster fire in the industrial district. A woman's wrist was exposed just long enough for the clock to tick 2:06 before the flames took her. Wrong again. He adjusted the lens of his scope. Not to fire. Not yet. Just see. Time was not to be imitated. It was to be obeyed. And this one? He had mocked the law too long. Across the parking lot, just beyond the lights, a figure stood, still, watching, then gone. He blinked. His coffee cup trembled slightly in his grip. He turned around. No one there. But something in his chest clicked off rhythm. Sorry. I'm just choking on every air. Okay, give me a sec. That helps. Behind the shed, a mouse twitched in an old trap. Still alive. 11 minutes passed before he reached for the blade. No screams, no cries, only a whisper. Shh, be still. Inside, his mother screamed at his father. He counted the seconds between insults. 4, 6, 10. Silence. Tick. He pressed the blade to the mouse's tail. Not yet. Not to kill. He wanted to see how long it would take for it to stop moving. His eyes looked wrong in the mirror, like someone stared back. The blade clattered in the sink. Whispers began the day after he burned her. Not your time, not your law. He scrawled new clocks in spiral notebook, all 2:06 over and over. But sometimes the time shifted. He saw 3:41 once. A yellow train schedule in an article about a closed station, 3:41 p.m. Broken alarm clock and a blurred crime scene photo, hands jammed at the same time. Coincidence? He wasn't sure. The clocks were changing. I don't like this, Brent said. Because it's too clean, LeClaire muttered. The 2011 lead case zoning files were sparse, but the one thing that stood out, Amelia Carr had signed an exception order letting a section of the factory remain operational. That section was condemned years later. The foreman who had petitioned for the exception, found dead in 2016, ruled as natural causes, but his file had been redacted. LeClaire pointed to a note scribbled in red ink on a photocopy of the appeal form. Em approved it. Leave it. No last name, no initials, just Em. They looked at each other. Who the hell is Em? He is hearing me. That much is clear. He's not listening yet, but he hears the second hand behind him. He knows the ticking isn't just his guilt, but guilt is not a gear. He will run soon, or lash out. I must remove him before he stains the mechanism further. The child watches too closely. I think he may listen in time. But the detectives, they are too near to something important. Em is only a letter until it is spoken out loud. Then it becomes a door. Michael folded the page carefully, slid it into a small white envelope. On the flap he wrote in the small block letters, "Read only on the hour." He walked 2 blocks to the police station, silent in the early fog, slipped the envelope into the hollow of a split tree near the front steps. No address, no markings, but someone would find it. Time had a way of revealing the proper reader. Chapter 10, Pendulum. He woke before the alarm, before the birds, before the house groaned under its usual weight. The mouse was gone, buried in a shoebox beneath the backyard tree. He hadn't told anyone, didn't need to. In its place was something new. A journal. A thrift store find. Wrapped in faux leather. Its pages still stiff. He had drawn the first clock by candlelight. This time, he had a second hand. When his fingertips brushed the paper, the second hand in his mind twitched. Just once, like it was aware of being touched. He liked how it moved in his mind, the tick between the ticks, the breath before a scream. At school, he stared at his teacher's wristwatch. Analog, slow. When she handed back his assignment, she paused. Her handwriting's changed. He blinked. No. But it had. Sharper, smaller, like someone measuring each letter before it landed. That night, he locked his bedroom door, carved a clock into the back of a cereal box. Then he took his father's belt from the closet not to wear, just to understand. He meant to carve time, but instead he carved chaos. The girl had screamed louder than the others. Probably too young. He didn't care to check. Not anymore. He just saw people and numbers 206 over and over like a curse. But tonight, another number kept repeating, kept creeping into his mind. 341. Heavy. Final. He didn't know what it meant, only that he'd written it before. It didn't matter. This law didn't matter. He left her body in a parking lot, in a parking garage stairwell. Wrist up, blood pooled around the base of a railing. Couldn't remember her face, only the clock. Back in the motel, he scrubbed his hands raw, tore the notebook in half, started again. The drawings no longer obeyed him. They looped, multiplied. One had 13 hours, another melted, another just teeth again. He'd heard footsteps in the hallway, slow, intentional. He opened the door, empty, but the footsteps remained. Imposter's flaw number 12. He no longer cared for the ritual, only the aftermath. Michael watched the motel's second floor. Window 207. The curtains shifted. He did not move. His gloved fingers rested lightly on the coil of piano wire. Not to use, yet, but to remember. He'd never been impatient. The law did not reward haste, but it did punish deviation. He scribbled one word in his pocket journal. Tonight. I've got a name, Brant said, stamping into the room. Or maybe a ghost? Claire raised an eyebrow. Try me. Martin D. Hale. Came up twice in exemption memos tied to Amelia Carr's signature. No title, not an employee, just there. Brent dropped a faded photo on the table. Old building permits, blurry zoning hearing. In the back of one of the photos, just over a stack of manila folders, stood a man with silver-rimmed glasses and gloved hands, not looking at the meeting, but looking at the camera. Pulled this from the city records. Grant said. Hale was listed as a temporary consultant, but no contractor license, no tax ID, nothing before 2011, nothing after. LeClaire leaned in. So how do we know he's real? Grant shook his head. We don't. But the name's tied to where a lot of things start to go wrong. They sat in silence longer than usual. No file, no age, no address, LeClaire said. Just the wrong kind of stillness. Brant glanced at the transcript copy lying between them, one line underlined in black ink. Time will clarify the structure. M.D. Hale, 2011. He took her life and didn't measure it. Her time was not 2:06. Her hands were delicate. Her hour was grief. The impostor left her screaming. I will silence him with the second hand. He folded the page, tucked it into his coat. The pendulum swings one way or the other, and it never waits.